My name is Lisa Quasmanen, and I'm a career education specialist at the University of Rhode Island Center for Career and Experiential Education. I specifically work with our STEM student population. In this video, we will cover 5 tips and a trick that will help you effectively interview for all of those amazing jobs and internships that are out there. Tip number 1, you need to effectively prepare for your interview. This comes down to doing your research, anticipating the questions that you'll be asked, making sure that you can align your skills and experience with what is required in that specific opportunity, and it also comes down to practicing. Do a mock interview and get that practice until you feel comfortable once you go into that interview. Tip number 2, you need to learn how to effectively answer interview questions. Many of the questions that will be asked are behavioral based. That means you will go back to your past experience and explain what you did because your past experience indicates potential future success. A great way to address and answer these behavioral-based questions is by using the STAR method.
The STAR method is a framework that you can use to answer your interview question. It starts with the situation, the S. That's where you'll provide a brief explanation to set up your example. Next comes the T, or task. This is the goal that you're trying to accomplish. Next is the action. What did you do to work towards accomplishing that goal? And then the R is the positive result. Think about the skills and experience you've gained in the past and come up with some STAR stories that you can use in upcoming interviews. You should develop STAR stories that address some of the following things: when you achieved a goal, when you solved a problem or overcame a challenge, when you made a mistake, when you worked as a leader, when you worked with a team, and when you did something interesting. STAR stories are powerful. They allow you to show how you've been successful in the past, and they also let you tell a story. When you tell a story in an interview, that makes you more memorable to the interviewer. Here's an example of a STAR story. Feel free to pause the video and take a close look, then develop STAR stories of your own.
Okay, tip number 3. You need to understand best practices for interviewing when it comes to both in-person and virtual interviews.
Check out this day of interview checklist. It's important to confirm your location, date, time, and contact for the interview, plan your route and account for traffic if your interview will be in person, dress professionally, arrive or log in early. 10 minutes is recommended. Don't show up too early. Bring a bright smile and a great attitude, and take a deep breath. This may be a nerve-wracking situation, but with more experience, you become more comfortable. Be confident in yourself and your abilities. When answering interview questions, your answer should be clear, concise, and specific. Think back to specific examples you can use in your STAR stories and make sure you don't ramble on when answering questions. Also, be aware of your body language. You should be confident. This comes down to your posture, demeanor, and attitude. Be engaged. Maintain eye contact with your interviewers. Use proper gestures. Be open. Avoid crossing your arms and make sure your position sets yourself towards the interview and not away from that person. And be composed. Try not to fidget, tap, or twirl your hair. Here are some tips for video and phone interviews. Make sure you conduct the interview in a quiet, private area. Definitely do not do your interview in a car. Ensure that you will have a reliable network connection, proper lighting, and a background that is clean and free of clutter. Try not to multitask during the interview. For example, don't eat, type, or look at websites or apps that are going to distract you from the interview. Have a copy of the job description in your resume accessible so you can refer to it. Dress professionally, even if you're not in person. Look directly at the camera. This will allow you to make eye contact with your interviewer. And for a video conference interview, conduct a test run to make sure your audio and video quality are up to speed. Make sure they're strong and reliable for the best interview experience possible.
Tip number 4 is all about the questions that you are going to ask of the employer during the interview. So during an interview, of course, the employer is going to ask you questions to find if you're a good fit for the position and the company. But it's up to you to ask really great questions as well, because this will help show that you're proactive, you really want to understand the position, how you can contribute, and it also allows you to learn more about the company so you can make an educated decision about whether or not this is a good opportunity for you.
Try to prepare 3 to 6 questions to ask during the interview. That way, if some of your questions get answered throughout the course of the interview, you'll still have a couple of questions to ask at the end. Link the research you did prior to the interview and the information you gathered during the interview to the questions to show your engagement. Ask questions to help you evaluate the opportunity. Start with the most important questions first. What do you really want to know? You can also find out next steps during this part of the process. You can give a last-minute pitch about why you're a great candidate, and you can gather important contact information in order to send your follow-up thank you notes. Some sample questions include, what are some of the challenges you expect the person in this position to face? What is your favorite thing about working here? That can address the company culture. How does the company support employees in professional development? What are your expectations for this role during the first 30 days, 60 days, and year? What are the most significant challenges and opportunities facing the company or department right now? And how do you envision someone in this role contributing to success moving forward? And then what are the next steps in your hiring process?
Tip number 5 is all about follow-up. You absolutely need to send a thank you note after the interview to everybody that was a part of your interview process on the employer side. But effective follow-up after an interview goes beyond that thank you note.
Here's an example of a thank you note, which is fantastic. It addresses the specific person you met with, some of the things that you talked about in your interview, and expresses gratitude for the experience. In addition to sending a thank you note, which should be prompt and customized for each person that you spoke with, you should also reflect and compile follow-up notes. Be patient throughout the experience, but check in as appropriate. If you are past the period of time when the employer said you'd hear back from them, send an email to check in on the status of your candidacy. Another tip is to draft questions in preparation for a second interview or follow-up. That way, the information will be fresh in your mind and you'll be prepared for the next step.
Now here's your trick. In many interviewing situations, you will be prompted to respond to the statement of, tell me a little bit about yourself. This gives you an opportunity to really set the stage effectively for your interview. And a poor response to this can really get you off track from the beginning. So here's what you can do to effectively respond to the request of, tell me a little bit about yourself.
It's helpful to use an elevator pitch framework to tackle this question. So you will essentially provide answers to, who are you? What are your interests? How are you qualified? And what are you looking for? What is the goal for the interview? Here's an example. Hello, my name is Hadley Yorkshire, and I'm a junior majoring in mechanical engineering at the University of Rhode Island. I've always enjoyed building things and solving problems, which has led to an interest in design and testing at URI. I've completed several mechanical engineering projects throughout my courses, and last summer did an internship with Bedrock Engineering where I designed prototypes, conducted testing, and prepared summary reports. I also enjoy collaborating with others and am currently the president of the URI chapter of Engineers That Build. Based on my research, I understand that your company produces high-quality industrial products. I feel my skills and experience align well with this design engineer position. I look forward to learning more about the position in this interview and illustrating how I can bring value to your company as an intern. For more information, feel free to check out this helpful quick tip sheet that features lots of great information about interviewing. You can also visit our website at uri.edu/career. Once there, click on Modules, then scroll down and click on the Interviewing Professional Development module. It's a self-paced resource that's full of great information to help you.
I hope this video has helped you understand a little bit more about the important elements of interviewing. Now, a really good resume and cover letter, they will get you in the door, but the interview is where you close the deal. So it's really important to interview effectively. If you have any questions, feel free to schedule an appointment with me in Starfish, or you can reach me at the email address provided. I wish you the best of luck in interviewing for all of those jobs and internships that are out there just waiting for you.